dearly beloved, treasured acquaintances, but mostly perfect strangers to me. It is a privilege to be here together to celebrate the marriage of Katie and Aaron. They have generously invited each of us here to witness their commitment to lifelong love. These botanical gardens are an enchanted backdrop for their special day. The domes highlight that lavish beauty grows through careful maintenance. This is one of my favorite spots in Milwaukee. We've been members for years, and membership comes with reciprocal admission to other botanical gardens and discounts at the gift shop, so you should consider it. It's an incredible asset to Milwaukee County, but I digress. Marriage, like a botanical garden, requires effort to blossom. Research has shown that one of the strongest predictors of marriage success is how much admiration and fondness a couple shares for each other. And you both are so admired. I personally admire the wealth of friendships you've nurtured over time. You have so many close friends. When I think about Aaron and Katie and what qualifies them for a lifetime together, it's this rich history of loyal connections. You genuinely invest in people for the long term, whether or not it's easy or convenient. At its core, marriage is an intimate, committed friendship, and you are so ready. You did not develop these skills alone. Your parents are testaments to relationship endurance. Between Doc and Marla and Mike and Sharon, they have achieved a combined 75 years of marriage. Does anybody know what the 75th anniversary gift is? A diamond, which is so perfect for today. I honestly think they have a shot of making it all the way. I honestly think so. I'm hopeful. I met Aaron and his dad on the same night about 5 years ago at a fearless late night karaoke sesh. I would describe that night the way most would describe Aaron. Memorably strange. Very creative. By contrast, meeting Katie was on a stylish boat ride on a brisk afternoon on Lake Michigan. Shout out Chelsea, shout out Crocs. Katie was so kind and inclusive and engaging. I mean, this many bridesmaids must mean something. I'm not sure what it means, but it must mean something. You don't need to learn how to cook, Katie, because you're a dish already. Marriage is planted in such a public way, but it grows underneath two people with roots that only they can feel. We are here with you today to affirm that you are never alone, you are so loved, and your best future is together. The blank spaces we're going to sign on your marriage license do not come with CE requirements. You're responsible now to tend each other carefully evermore. In closing, of my part, I want to share a quote from a 2004 movie that I've never seen, from a character played by Susan Sarandon to her on-screen husband, played by Richard Gere. And it says, "We need a witness to our lives. There are billions of people on the planet. I mean, what does any one life really mean? But in a marriage, you're promising to care about everything. The good things, the bad things, the terrible things, the mundane things, all of it, all of the time, every day. You're saying your life will not go unnoticed because I will notice it. Your life will not go unwitnessed because I will be your witness. We are all here today to be your loving witnesses because we're confident you will be each other's best witnesses for all the eras of your lives." The couple has asked Katie's friend, Caroline, and Aaron's brother, Regan, to share a special reading with you now.
When winter comes, the winter wild that hill and wood shall slay, when trees shall fall and starless night devour the sunless day, when wind is in the deadly east, then in the bitter rain, I'll look for thee and call to thee, I'll come to thee again.
When winter comes and singing ends, when darkness falls at last, when broken is the barren bough and light and labor past, I'll look for thee and wait for thee until we meet again. Together we will take the road beneath the bitter rain. Together we will take the road that leads into the west, and far away we'll find a land where both our hearts may rest.
Good job. Thank you. And next, Aaron and Katie have written personal vows to share with one another. Speak now.
Aaron, you have probably come to know by now that I tend to worry, especially if I have to make a decision. And unfortunately, with planning a wedding, there have been countless decisions for me to stress about. But that's okay, because there is one thing I have not worried about for even a second, and that's my decision to marry you. Exactly 5.5 years ago, on a Friday the 13th, is when I met you, and boy was that my luckiest day. From that first date pat on the back, I have been completely dazzled by you. My only wish is that even for a day, you could see yourself through my eyes. You are generous in all things. You're handsome beyond belief. You're my favorite artist and Crumpet's favorite parent. It's true. That's why I'm crying. You are intelligent and frustratingly good at Jeopardy, and so funny that I don't think I've gone a day without laughing. You are always authentically you, and you are the person I love more than I ever thought possible. As you have reminded me from the beginning of our relationship, in this life, all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. So with my time, however long or short that may be, this is what I decide. I decide to always play brain games whenever you ask. I decide to always give you a cheer, whether it's during a boss battle or a battle through one of life's challenges. I decide to treasure you, always in times of joy, but especially times of sadness. To be your comfort for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health. Aaron Mason, I decide to marry you today, to spend with you the rest of my days. The easiest and happiest decision of my life. The end. Thanks.
Katie, I want to start my vows by saying thank you. Thank you for everything. Without you, I don't want to think where or how my life would be at this moment. 5.5 years ago, when we matched on Bumble, I think it's safe to say that neither of us knew what was in store. You didn't even know if you liked cheese boards. Less than a year later, who would have thought you'd be driving me to chemotherapy through a polar vortex day after day, only to come home and lint roll the hair off my scalp. But that's what you did. Unexpected or not, you were there for me in every way imaginable, and in ways I didn't feel that I deserved. That wasn't an easy time for either of us, but I wouldn't hesitate to do it all over again if it meant spending that time with you. Since then, you've become my best friend and biggest supporter. You are my cheerleader when I'm down, and my cheerleader when I'm just playing video games, and when I ask you to cheer for me. You've become a friend of my friends and a sister to my sisters. When I get a call from Lauren or Olivia, it's usually because they couldn't get a hold of me first, of you first. But most of all, you've helped me become a better version of myself. You've seen me at my lowest points and have never once given up on me. You've pushed me to grow and mature, and you've taught me to love myself, even if it's just a little. You've kept me active and healthy, and you're patient with me when I complain about being active or healthy. So once again, thank you, Katie. I can never repay you for the love and kindness and patience you've shown me, but I have a lifetime to try. I promise to show you the same respect, the same loyalty, and the same generosity for as long as I live. I promise to take your advice and listen to your needs. I promise to kill spiders for you, and I promise to check our house from top to bottom for any intruders. And I promise to let you skip brushing your teeth at least once a year. I love you so much.
I never skip that.
Okay, so good. This is now the declaration of intent. So after these questions, please respond, I do. Do you, Katie, take Aaron to be your husband, to love completely from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish from this day forward until death do you part? Do you, Aaron, take Katie to be your wife, to love completely from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish from this day forward until death do you part? Terrific. Today is the ultimate fellowship of rings. Symbols that love is the most precious element in your life together. One ring to rule them all. They're making me say this. One ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness, bind them. Okay, rings, John. Okay. Aaron, please take this ring and place it on Katie's finger and repeat after me. Good. Katie, I give you this ring as a symbol of my love.
Katie, I give you this ring as a symbol of my love.
At all times and in all ways, forever.
At all times and in all ways, forever.
Beautiful. Katie, take this ring, place it on Aaron's finger, and repeat after me. Aaron, I give you this ring as a symbol of my love.
Aaron, I give you this ring as a symbol of my love.
At all times and in all ways, forever.
In all times and in all ways, forever.
Very good. Good, good. And now, having pledged your commitment to love, honor, and cherish each other evermore in the presence of this gathering of your dear family and friends, and by the authority vested in me, it is my honor to now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. For the first time, introducing Dr. and Mrs. Aaron and Katie Mason.
off, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. I consider friends family, so I'd like to welcome everybody to our family. And I'd like to thank the Mason family for raising such a wonderful son that we are truly honored to welcome into our family. So a big round for Aaron. And I guess I need to say a few words on how we got Katie to this point. So we'll go back to the beginning, probably. I think it was 40. No, we won't go that far back. We'll go back to late 1993. Katie was born. She came into this world, and I guess for the first 18 months she cried. Well, actually, she screamed. We couldn't figure out why. We thought maybe, well, she was colicky, but it was about 18 months into it. We figured out, we'd had another daughter, Mouse, where she was our firstborn. And you're going to hear these names, Mouse, Peach, Bear, Boy. You spend all that time trying to figure out a name for your child, but then I never use it. But anyway, we had Mouse, and we'd fed Mouse a certain amount, and we were feeding Katie the same amount because we thought that's just what you did. But we finally figured out after 18 months, Katie was just hungry. And so we started feeding her more, and she stopped crying. So that worked out real good. So, and time progressed. Katie grew, I should say. And let's see, she's probably in grade school at this point. I don't know, maybe 5th or 6th grade. And Katie decides, well, it's time for me to start testing the waters. So I remember this one time where she came home with it was like a midterm quiz or something in 5th grade. And I think there were 10 questions on it, and I think she got 6 wrong. And so she had I guess it started out as a 40%, but she thought, well, I think Mom and Dad aren't going to be real excited about that 40%, so maybe I'll fix that, and we'll change that 4 into a 9. So she's like, all right, well, I'll run this by Dad first, see how it goes. And, as a typical dad, she gives me the paper, and I'm like, oh, gee, that's nice, hon. Great job. Well, then she had to give it to her mother. Well, and she found out then that her mom can see through a mile of bullshit to get to the truth. And so she gave it to her mom, and her mom said, well, not so fast. So anyway, Katie didn't win that one. And then, so Katie kept on growing, and she grew into a strong, beautiful young lady. She's in high school now. And we were really proud. Freshman year, Katie made the varsity soccer team. And her sophomore year and junior year, she was a starter, and she was a starter that never got to come out. So she kept playing. We were really super proud. And I remember it was the end of the summer before she was a senior, and I was at work. And I got that call. We're on our way to the hospital. And Katie had, had a horrible knee accident that required surgery. But Katie was strong. And so I remember walking into school with Katie that first day of her senior year. Her soccer coach hadn't known this yet. And so he's standing right there and sees Katie coming in with the crutches. And, I could show everybody his face. His jaw hits the floor. And he's like, oh, my God, my starting defender. You're on crutches. But Katie made every practice, made every game, sat there on the bench with her brace on, cheered her team on. And then I think it was the third to the last game, Katie finally got to go in. Got out there for a few minutes, and her fingers are crossed, and she stumbled. The knee gave out. That was kind of a bummer. But the brace went back on, and she made it to the last few games. Now they're in the state championship. It's the final game for the state championship. Katie's out on the field, and she helped that team win the state championship. Give me a second. Proud moment for Katie, proud moment for Mom and Dad. Now Katie goes to college, and I remember she did have a few tough times, and we'd talk, and it was stressful. I mean, going to college, and now you're at the point you're deciding, do I do physician or do I do physician assistant? We had that talk a few times, and a lot of times, you know, she was just having a tough time with it. And I remember telling her all the time, remember, the sun is warm and the grass is green, right? And so that got her through. And here she is today, you know, a strong, heartfelt, compassionate, beautiful young lady. And I say heartfelt, compassionate because, you know, her compassion for people comes from her heart. And it shows all the time. And so we're really proud of her for that. So I guess I can just tell you and Aaron both just a little advice in life. Just remember, life is a one-way street. When you get to the end of that street, you don't get to turn back and go down. So make sure when you're going down that street we call life, you take your time, make sure you look and see what's on both sides of the street, because it goes by really fast. And so take your time, see what's on both sides of the street, and just give each other as much love as you can. And remember that compromise is a big part of maintaining a strong relationship. We have that at our house. You know, like my wife and I, we compromise. Like one time, she wanted a dog. I didn't want a dog, so we compromised, and we got a dog. So just remember how to compromise, Aaron, because it'll really make life easier. So again, thank you everybody for being here. I'm overwhelmed. I know Katie's overwhelmed, and I just know that they're going to have a great relationship and a wonderful life, and you know, we're glad that all of you are a part of it. And so have a great night, and hopefully I'll get to meet all of you. And that's it. So hopefully I didn't bore you to tears. I got through this, thank God.
All right, hi guys, I'm Rich Bales, one of Aaron's childhood friends. So I want to kick things off, just thank everybody for being here. This is awesome. Aaron, Katie, to your families, this is an unbelievable wedding, so I'm super excited to be a part of it. Katie, first and foremost, you're a stunning bride. This is amazing. You look amazing. I'm super excited for you. I haven't had as much time to get to know Katie as I have Aaron, but in the short time that I have gotten to know her, there's some things that have really stood out to me. And at the top of the list is just how intentional and obvious her love and adoration for Aaron is. My interactions have been brief with her, but in each and every one of them, that's something that I see. And Aaron, just know that that is such a rare and special quality in someone. So always appreciate that and be thankful for it. So the story of Aaron and I, it starts in middle school, and I'll kind of take you through our journey and how we ended up where we are today. We met each other on the B team in basketball, which for those of you that don't know sports, it's kind of the island of misfit toys of sports. I had grown like 8 inches in a year and couldn't really walk well or dribble. And Aaron was in kind of a punk phase where he had the big swooped over hair. So a bit of a motley crew, but one thing we recognized really early was we shared a sense of humor. And that bonded us from the get-go. It maybe toes the line of inappropriate sometimes, maybe wanders a ways past it. But that was the beginning of us. So as life went on, we made our way to high school, and high school is really the time in our life when we solidified that friendship. It was constant sleepovers, it was sports, it was school, all of that. I spent a lot of days with Aaron, and in doing so, we grew more fond of each other. I have some fun memories of sports with Aaron. I would describe Aaron's athletic career as quirky. You know, he did find success. We have a state qualifying high jumper sitting here. Yeah. How about that? The tale of his scoop and score touchdown in football is another one. But at the same time, the same guy, it'd be 6 a.m. on the way to a football workout, and he'd be nibbling on Oreos. And we had one time where we were running a drill in practice, and instead of just going in and doing it for football, he faked vomited so that he wouldn't have to go in. So that being said, we had a lot of fun. Those years were really good for our friendship and set us up for life after high school. So after high school, Aaron went off to Marquette, I went to Iowa State, and I think at that point in life, you kind of realize that's when you really have to select who are going to be these friends that you're going to make time for and make the effort to keep in your life. We were always good about, whether it was once or twice a year, coming to see each other and being intentional about phone calls and stuff like that. And I think that was just a testament to what we meant to each other. And I'll always be thankful for those years that we stayed in touch. So life goes on, we graduate, I go off to Omaha, Aaron stays in Marquette, becomes a dentist, and we decided it was time to take a trip. So with some of the guys in this room, we decided we were gonna go to Budapest for a week, go to Ireland for a week, and it was time to put a stamp on our friendship. So as all best of best friends do, we got some matching ass tattoos. So a few more beers, maybe I'll show you. So that was a big check mark in the relationship. Life goes on, everything is pretty honky-dory through the years, and then in 2018, I get a call from Aaron that kind of made the world stop. I'm getting dripped on. Aaron called me, and he had been diagnosed with cancer. So that's something that just, you don't picture happening. And I think for me, it was really a reality check of, this guy means so much to me, I'm scared, what does that look like? I don't know how severe it is. So immediately I said, hey, I gotta come to Milwaukee, I need to spend a weekend with you. And in my head, this is a weekend filled with support and navigating these feelings. Didn't quite turn out to be that way. There were glimpses of Aaron on my shoulders at a bar at Marquette Days during that. Fast forward 8 hours where you're at a pool party. Fast forward 2 days, I'm back in Nebraska, and Aaron is unbelievably sick. But that being said, throughout this journey, Aaron may have lost a testicle, but he never lost his positive attitude. And that's just a testament to who he is. So I think it's obvious. My comfort zone is a place of humor. But I did want to take some time tonight to be intentional about why I love Aaron, why Aaron is one of my best friends. From the day I've met you, I have always looked up to you. You're one of the smartest people I know, and it's something to behold. It's pretty special for those of you that know him. He's got a mind like a sponge, and it's awesome. Another thing that I think is so unique and rare about Aaron is he is so genuinely himself. It doesn't matter who's listening, who's watching, who's in the room, you get the same version of Aaron no matter what. And that's so rare. And the other thing, just a testament to Aaron and Katie both, the people in this room, they select the people in their lives purely based on who they are. There's no external factors, there's no status, there's no spheres. They love people for who they are, and they hold them tight. So everybody raise a glass. We'll do a quick toast to the bride and groom. So love multiplies when it's given. So always love each other intentionally. Love your friends well, and you'll live a life of abundance. Cheers to you guys and a long and happy marriage. Love you both.
That was so good.
Hi. For those of you who don't know, my name is Jessie, and I am Katie's older sister. First off, I want to thank all of you for being here on this special occasion. Katie was my first friend in life and the best partner in crime I could have asked for. We spent countless hours together coming up with ridiculous games and tearing apart our parents' house. She was also my favorite person to pick on and was the victim of many cruel tricks. I once convinced her to pay me actual money for a piece of Kleenex that I claimed had been touched by Britney Spears. And Katie was happy to pay for it. Over the years, I have watched her grow into a beautiful person inside and out. She is the kindest and most compassionate person you will ever meet. She is funny, incredibly smart, and always there when you need her. Speaking of funny and smart, this is where Aaron comes in. Aaron is the perfect match for Katie, and it is undeniable how happy he has made her over the years. I feel so happy to be a part of this special day for you two. You are a match made in Middle Earth, and I cannot wait to see how your love story unfolds as you begin your life together as husband and wife. Love you guys.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Katie's younger sister, Carrie Jo. Katie did tell me a few days ago to make sure that my speech was riddled with compliments for her, so I'm hoping to do her justice. I will preface by saying that everything I do have to say comes from my heart. Katie and I were first introduced to each other when I was born, and although I can't remember exactly what happened, I can say with certainty that Katie welcomed me into this world with love and affection, I think, because that is exactly who Katie is. She is a bright light in the lives of everyone she knows. I like to think if Katie and I weren't related, we would still be friends, but I thank God every day that she is in my life forever as my older sister. It has been an honor and a privilege to grow up alongside you and have your bright light shining constantly ahead of me. I will never forget, a couple weeks ahead of my first year in high school, Katie came up to me and said, "KJ, I don't want to be the sisters that fight at school, so let's always be the sisters who are friends and love each other. And you never let me down on that promise." And 12 years later, I could not be happier than to stand next to you as you marry the love of your life. Yay. I have never met a more genuine and kind-hearted person. Katie truly lifts the bar for all their people that I know and has been an inspiration to me since before I can remember. She goes out of her way to make people feel loved and included, and it's a trait that is so hard to find in most people. By the time college came around, I was always so proud to tell people I was Katie's sister because I knew the profound impact she had on those around her. Saying I was Katie's sister on campus was like saying I was related to a celebrity because it was always met with such joy and appreciation from the other person. I am truly the luckiest girl in the world to have been able to look up to and share life with you as siblings. But I didn't know I could see Katie as a more perfect human being until I saw her with Aaron. That is because Aaron and Katie have the kind of love that makes you actually believe in soulmates. I have always gone back and forth about whether two people are meant to be in this world, but being in the presence of Katie and Aaron is being in the presence of something magical, and it makes you a believer. Katie has always been such a wonderfully unique, funny, and charismatic person to be around, and all of a sudden, Aaron came in and was able to complement her entire personality. He not only loves Katie for the things that make her stand out, but he shares in them as well. I'm not just talking about heavy metal and hobbits, but also the way you guys make people in your life feel cared for and included, and making everyone feel important. Knowing Katie and Aaron as a couple is knowing what true love is in a world where that is so hard to find. Aaron, my family, thinks so highly of you, and we are so, so grateful to be welcoming you in. I am so grateful specifically for the love and support you guys have shown me. You always made me feel loved, even in times where I didn't feel it anywhere else. You two have always been a safe place for me and for all of your friends and family, and we are all so lucky and overjoyed to be here tonight and to be a part of making your love story official. Nothing makes me happier than to know my beautiful sister will be cherished and appreciated for the rest of her life, and knowing Katie, I know that Aaron will be too. As Galadriel from Lord of the Rings says, I hope you will be a light to each other in dark places when all other lights go out. Congratulations on your wedding, and cheers to spending the rest of your lives together.
Hello, everyone. My name is John. I'm Aaron's friend, and I know this is the 4th speech in a row that you're listening to, so if you need to grab a drink, go for it. I do not mind. Aaron was the very first friend I met at Marquette University. We were enrolled in Marquette's early admit dental program, and we spent our early years staying up late and doing what college kids did best, studying hard. We were devout students and did not party in the traditional sense. Our party was studying weeks in advance for a big exam, knowing full well we were going to ace it. What's that? Another A? Yeah, we were the kings of McCormick Hall, known to most as the beer can, but to us as our study kingdom. I really did envy how easy school came to Aaron. As an example, Aaron and I took 2 semesters of Arabic language. And for me, it was an effort to get closer to my heritage. And for Aaron, it was an effort to showcase all the swear words he learned with our Uber drivers. To my parents' great disappointment, Aaron actually regularly scored higher than me in a language I grew up with. This was... and so sometimes it's masked by his really crass bathroom sense of humor. But Aaron, as Richie said, is one of the smartest people I've ever met. And yeah, we were roommates for 3 years. I learned a lot from him. He showed us this great method of moving out. And Doc knows this. He would wait till the day of the move to start putting things into boxes. It's amazing. Other things I learned, patience, compromise, how to soak a dish for weeks on end. But above all, I learned that he's a very supportive person. Aaron helped ghostwrite a number of songs that I performed, humble brag, at a dental school talent show where I was crowned Mr. Moeller. Hold for applause. Thank you. Thanks. Oh, thanks, guys. I later received the senior superlative, dental school, of best sense of humor, while Aaron received, and I'm not joking, the superlative most likely to abuse nitrous oxide after hours. However, Aaron did have his own extracurricular success. He, along with his pin pals, won the Wednesday night bowling league, which was particularly impressive as this was also the bowling alley's big-ass beer night, which the team took full advantage of. He's also a great artist. The art on the candles was all done by Aaron tonight. And shout out to Marla for putting the candles together, a family of artists. Yeah, let's applause here. I do take some credit, though, for helping springboard his art career, as I encouraged him to submit one of the hundreds of doodles he drew instead of paying attention to lectures. He went on to become Marquette's doodle competition winner. Hold for applause. Thanks. Aaron now specializes, as you can see, in grotesque and vile art. It's the kind of art that makes you ask, is everything okay? So I thought, what kind of freak would want to date this guy? And then came Caitlin Mark. I knew Karen, that was good, new couple name. Aaron and Katie were destined for marriage the moment they met. They both love playing video games, listening to death metal music, and watching horror films. But that's not true. It really is refreshing seeing how they support one another's interests. Aaron's sister Olivia said this last night, but Aaron really has found his new person to watch him play video games. I've never met a couple that's better at being boring together than these two. And I think that's what marriage is all about. As Richie pointed out, Aaron had a health scare, and I got to see firsthand what kind of a person Katie is. And at that time, it was uncertain and very scary, but I watched the support they had for one another, and I'm excited to continue to watch them grow as a couple. Our friends used to have a wall of bets where we would hang up different wagers we would make, and I'm going to add one tonight and bet that this marriage is going to work. And also, if you're going to tonight's after party at Potawatomi Bingo Casino, take our suits as a sign and bet it all on black. In lieu of a toast, I would like to perform a song for the newlyweds. So, is that okay? I know, you can grab a drink, like I said, it's gonna take me maybe a couple minutes to set up, so thank you. All right, I'm gonna play an Irish folk song, and I'm trying to blend both death metal music and Taylor Swift, so that's kind of what I landed on. And I know what you might be wondering, what does this Middle Eastern guy know about Irish music? When my brother was younger, he used to tell people, he felt left out, and he used to tell people that we were 1% Irish. And a few years ago, he took a DNA test, and to no surprise, we were 99% Middle Eastern. And I kid you not, 1% Northern African. So this song is an Irish folk song, but I've reworked some of the lyrics. It's called Katie and the Soldier. Come all you lads of high renown, that will hear of a fair young maiden, and she rode down on a summer's day, for to view the soldiers parading. They march so bold and they look so gay, the colours fine and the bands did play, and it caused young Katie for to say, I'll wed you, me gallant soldier. She viewed the dentist at Marquette, and as they stood at their lecture, for Katie to herself did say, where is me golden eagle treasure? But oh, how cruel her teachers must be, to banish her darling so far from thee. And she'll leave them all and go with thee, with her bold, undaunted soldier. Oh, Katie dear, your crumpets love, I pray don't be unruly,
For when you're in a freighted land, believe me, you'll rue it surely. Perhaps in battle he might fall and possibly lose a testicle. And you, so far from your crumpet's hall, be advised by a gallant soldier. And when he saw her loyalty and Katie so true-hearted, he said, "Me darling, married we'll be, and nothing but Skyrim will part us. And when they take their trip to Japan, I'll guard your crumpet with my right hand." And hopes that we might stay good friends with Katie and her denting a soldier.
Thank you.
for Aaron and his beautiful mother, Marla. And all those beautiful